Persuasive language is all around us. Whether it's your mum trying to get you to try some new food, or shops getting you to buy something they're selling. So, persuasive writing is everywhere. We can't go through the day without being exposed to someone trying to convince us, or us trying to convince someone to do or buy or behave in a certain way. And we use persuasive language to do this. This term, in Year 4, we're going to be working on our skills at persuasive writing. We're going to be writing letters and pieces of writing that are going to try and convince our reader to change their mind or to agree with us or to start doing something new or to stop doing something. In persuasive writing, you see similar words coming up again and again that are the words that authors of really good pieces of persuasive text use. There are 2 columns of words here. The words on the left would be in support of something. So if you are trying to convince somebody to do something, to come along to a show that's fabulous, that's going to be the best, magnificent, most important, profitable show, you would convince them using these positive statements. On the other side, if you are trying to tell people and inform people about something horrendous that's happening that should be stopped, you might want to use some of those words about how this event that's occurring is outrageous, that it's repulsive that animals are used in circuses these days, that it's cruel to put children in school uniform. So have a look at these words. Feel free to use them in your persuasive writing. When we write a piece of persuasive writing, we have to structure the words so that our reader can gauge, can work out how far through our work they are. It's not like a story where we can talk about what happened next and later on that day, and meanwhile. We have to use different words in our persuasive writing, and these are phrases that we can use right here in front of us. So if we're starting our first paragraph, we might say firstly, or the first reason. Our second paragraph, we might say secondly, or more interestingly perhaps we could say another reason why, or pursuing this further. Our third paragraph, we wouldn't want to say thirdly if we've said secondly. That might get a bit boring for our reader. So we might want to mix it up by saying yet another reason why, or one last reason why, or also. And normally the fourth or fifth would be our conclusion. This is where we go back to our opinion and we really drive home our message and get our reader to agree with us and join us in the way we think. So we'd start this with, you can see why, or finally, or therefore, or in conclusion. So these are sentence starters that you will be using in your persuasive writing. Now, what we have to do to write a really good piece of persuasive writing is to have a list of things to include. That's what authors of great persuasive writing do. Here's a picture of a forest. Here's a picture of another forest. A forest can help us remember what to do to include in our persuasive writing to make it really fantastic. And here is what the letters A, F, O, R, E, S, T can stand for. A stands for alliteration, which is where in a sentence many of the words have the same first letter or first sound. When you use alliteration in persuasive writing, your reader is hooked in. They want to know, that sounds different, that's not a boring way of putting words together. I'm going to read a bit more about this issue or this item. Facts. If you are trying to get someone to agree with you, you need to give them some information that everyone knows is true. This is a fact. And in this way, your reader will start to believe you and start to listen to your opinion. Opinion. Of course, you can't persuade someone to agree with you unless you explain your opinion. That's what you think. A rhetorical question is a question that we ask our reader, to ask them to think about something. Would you like it if you were in a zoo instead of being in the wild as an animal? You're not asking for an answer. You don't want your reader to suddenly just pipe up an answer. Rhetorical question is you talking to the reader. And in a rhetorical question, we use the word you. We are involving the reader in our text, and we're asking them to take a moment to really think about themselves and putting themselves into a situation. Emotive language is language of emotion, and emotions mean feelings. So you need to use the words want, like, words to do with feelings, how desperately sad whatever it is making people. If we carry on asking children to do homework, they are desperately unhappy. Use feelings in your persuasive writing to ask your reader to have empathy and sympathy for the people you are talking about. Statistics. Statistics is a word that means the numbers involved in information that's been collected. When those students come to our classroom and do a survey on us and ask us to put up our hands and talk about which sport we like, and they count us and they go away, they've collected statistics. They've got information about us, and it's in the form of a number. If you use statistics in your persuasive text and your persuasive argument, you are going to have numbers that you can use to say, I know this is true because look how many people think this. Or I know this is terrible because look how many animals are being harmed. So statistics are really important. You might find statistics by searching online for them to use in your persuasive writing. The last clever persuasive device is triplets. If you look around at adverts and you read essays where things are put in threes, things in threes stick in your head. If you repeat something 3 times, you can still hear it in your mind even after you've finished reading it. Or list 3 reasons: cold, hungry, thirsty. By saying things 3 times, we have a better hook into our reader and making our reader remember our message and getting our reader to agree with us. Persuading is all about convincing. It's an art form more than just a piece of writing. You are going to twist around your reader's mind using those brilliant devices that we've talked about. You're going to construct a piece of writing that will get what you want. Happy persuading for our